Hello and welcome to another episode of Life Talks with Fawole. We have the voice behind the camera, the wizard, and the lovely Claudia in the studio today. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
You look amazing as always, Claudia. How do we know each other?
Yeah, so I guess we met around 3 years ago in the gym or something like this.
Okay, so you know that time. I know you guy in the gym. Yeah. And I think I see you in the gym, and as everyone can see, you're very beautiful, but you're very hardworking as well. Yes. So it wasn't your beauty that drew me to you. It's the way you was training. Like you just go in. Like some people come in the gym and they want to be noticed. Like men and women, some people come in the gym to train. You was one of the people who, although like I can't get away from the fact that you're so gorgeous, you weren't there for none of that. You was there to train, get your gains, and get out. And consistently, I saw you training, and then that's what made me approach you. And then upon approaching you, you're just so nice. Your energy was just right. So yeah, here we are now. We're talking. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically me. Tell me about yourself. Where are you from?
So I'm from Italy. I was born in Milan, and I've grown up in a place that is close to Milan, which is called Gorgonzola.
Gorgonzola?
Like the blue cheese.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
But my family is from the south of Italy. Mm-hmm. So all my parents are there. Let's say I belong more to the south, but I was born in the north.
Okay. So your blood's in the south, but you was born in the north, yeah? Origins north. What is the place in the south called? Because you said Gorgonzola is the... Yeah,
Gorgonzola is in the north, which was I grown up. And the place in the south is called Pescara.
Pescara. Mm-hmm. Okay. Your accent's amazing as well. It's beautiful. It's really, really nice. Really nice. I'm going to find it hard to focus.
Very Italian.
Yeah, very Italian. And I only have one Italian phrase I was talking about my friend. It's tutto a posto, niente in ordine, which means everything's good, but nothing's okay, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's about right with COVID and everything right now, but we're not going to talk about that. Brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I have one brother. We had a very struggling relationship growing up. Okay. Like we were fighting a bit. You know, we are Italian, so...
Yeah. Are you close?
He's still living in Italy.
Yeah. When I say close, I mean close in age?
Yes. Okay. We are 1 year and a half apart.
Ah, that explains it. The kind of like the battles and stuff you had. And then when you said you was fighting a lot, like, but you love each other, but it was just more like fighting over toys. What kind of?
Yeah, exactly, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Was you both born in the north as well?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So apart from that, growing up, what was it like growing up in Italy?
Very boring. That's why I had the need to move in a place that was very like active, like London. So I grew up in a place. The first thing that shocked me when I moved to London is that I could go and buy some milk without the need of taking a car. Because where I'm from, you basically cannot walk anywhere because it's all big highways and stuff. So you need a car to move and go whatever you need to go.
Anywhere?
Yes.
Okay, so you basically, when you're at home, you're almost like stuck in a village kind of area. And exactly. if you haven't got it, you haven't got it. So it's like...
Only countryside. That's why you have a lot of free time. That's why you can focus all your attention on the studies, I guess.
Yeah. And training as well. Friends growing up, did you have a lot of friends when you moved around in Italy? How was
Yes, that? It was a bit hard until high school because obviously there were only people from the countryside because each bit of the countryside has its own high school, and so you get to know only people that are from there, which I don't really get along too much with people from the north because, as I said, I feel like I belong more to the south. Yeah. So it wasn't until I went to uni that I got to meet more people from the south. And so all my friends now are from uni time, let's say.
Okay. And then so, because for me, my first introduction to Italy, to be honest, and I think it's for a lot of people, would be the proverbial mafia. Yeah. Right, and then you see these movies on TV, you know, and then I'd go too far and say Sicily, because Italy, everything comes from Sicily, you know. That's our interpretation, because what we see on TV and stuff. So, saying when you was born in the north, but your heart's in the south. What is the difference between the people in the north and the south? Is it? Please, you inform me.
Yeah, I mean,
without treading on any toes or anything.
No, absolutely. I mean, if we want to generalize, the thing is, so people from the south are warmer, so they are always welcoming. They will always invite you. They will always share their food with you.
Okay.
They will always cook. Yeah, they are more easygoing. They don't bother too much about the appearance. Yeah. So I feel like I like more this kind of people. Yeah. Besides, instead having people be like, oh no, sorry, I'm too busy to do that. Can't be bothered to just change my plan for you and this kind of stuff. So people are a little bit colder in the north. Yeah. Still great.
Yeah.
Italians are amazing, but
I like that. Yes, they are. I have to concur with that. Yeah. They are. The food.
Yes.
Growing up, the food must have been amazing because you're in the countryside. You got all fresh produce. What was your favorite food at home? Like at home, or what things do you miss about Italy as well? We'll get onto that afterwards. But food and stuff.
Yeah,
I love food.
Definitely my grandma's food. The famous Nonna's food.
Yeah, Nonna's food. Yeah. What's your favorite dish?
I mean, she normally when I stay over her place, I basically eat fish for all the time we are there. She's very good cooker, and she taught me a lot. Basically, everything I know is because when I was little, I would just stay there and look what she was doing, or I could only help in little tasks. So she would never let me do everything because she would like, no, you need to know how I do it because you need to learn properly. So it was a very intense process. Yeah. And back in the days, I was like, this is just frustrating. Why am I learning this so intensively? Yeah. And now I'm like very grateful instead because I'm like, because of what she taught me, I know how to do a lot of things.
Wow. So you do know that at some point I'm going to ask you to prepare something for me now. I've got this information.
Make
right?
some fresh pasta.
Yeah, please. I would love that. What was your favourite dish that your grandmother made?
She makes very good lasagna.
Lasagna? Wow. I might have to ask you for the recipe.
She makes a lasagna with 25 layers.
Wow.
Intense.
25 layers? Yeah. So how big does that have?
Well, they're very thin layers, but it gets like this high.
Yeah, that just sounds lovely already.
Yeah.
And then like mincemeat, pasta, cheese, mincemeat, pasta, cheese. So what kind of cheese? All different kind of cheeses?
Well, mozzarella. Actually, the secret ingredient is the tomato sauce. So my family has this tradition that every summer we need to produce tomato sauce, like handmade. So my grandma buys like 7 tons of tomatoes.
Wow.
And we, in her garden, we make like this little factory to make tomato sauce.
Yeah.
And it's the tradition wants that you need to start during night because obviously you do it in summer, which is the season of the good tomatoes in Italy, but it's very hot. Yeah. So you need to start like at 1 a.m. because it's like better weather, better temperature. And then you go along all night until the morning. Wow. Then somebody brings breakfast and then you keep going until you have the tomato sauce for the whole year.
Wow. So it's inherently there's a season where you'll spend like a week, a few days. How long?
Yeah, it's like normally 4 to 5 days, but the whole family is involved.
That's just so beautiful.
I was just gonna ask, what's the different processes that everyone's roles?
So based on the age, people get assigned to different processes.
Wow.
So what normally is happening is that young kids get to wash all the tomatoes because you need to wash them. Yeah. Then my grandma that is in charge, obviously, she gets to cook the tomatoes. Yeah. So there is a very funny thing that basically she has huge pots to cook the tomatoes, and then she used the carts from the supermarket to sieve the water from the tomatoes.
Wow.
I know. So basically she puts a blanket inside the cart and she uses it to sieve all the water from the tomatoes. And then we move it to a machine that is used to press it. And that's normally the man job because it's very hard to be there pressing for hours. And then what normally happens is that she has a huge spoon, like a wooden spoon that is 1 meter high, and it's used to like turn the tomato because you need to stir it and mix it so the sauce gets homogeneous. And then there is the
it gets what?
Homogeneous.
Okay, yeah.
And then there is the filling part, which normally is what the youngest do. That you get all the tomatoes in old beer bottles.
Oh wow!
And then you close all of them.
So is your grandmother still with you?
Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic. God bless you, grandmama. Hopefully you're going to see this. Please, Claudia is here. I hope that it's close to this time when you're making this tomato sauce. So maybe I can get some. I'm going to try and get some, man. But God bless you. Mwah, grandma. Do you go home to do this now as well, still?
Yes.
That's so beautiful.
I know. Now she asked me, when is it that you're coming? Because she wants me to book that week. So that I can do that still. That's
so nice. Can you imagine that? That's no wonder you're so nice and always so happy. Family's a very important thing.
I know.
And to have that tradition, is there any other things that are cooked apart from tomato sauce around this particular time or around like festival times? Like I know Italians love food. I know French love food, but we're talking about the Italians and the food. Is like, it's, there's an emotion and it's just. But go, please.
I mean, yeah. So. Then depending from where you are from in Italy, so each region has its own different tradition. So where my parents are from, the region is called Abruzzo.
Abruzzo.
Yes.
Abruzzo.
And the food is very particular. So each region has different food. And where my parents are from there, we have another, let's say, is kind of a dessert. It's like a ravioli filled with cheese. And again, in this case, you normally make them for like Easter time.
Okay.
And my grandma used to make so many because it has to be for the whole family that she used to go to a bakery and ask them to bake all this desserts in their oven.
The ovens, because it's so much.
Because yes, you need very big ones.
Wow. Wow. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. And this tomato sauce goes on, you can use it for your lasagna, your pasta. Wow. And do you export it like to family members in small batches?
Yeah, it's only for family members. But it tastes like I can recognize the difference.
Taste, okay. Do you have any in London at the moment?
No, unfortunately.
Okay.
I'll bring some.
Please, I'm going to hold you to that. I won't like it anymore if you don't bring me no tomato sauce back. I'm telling you. What else about Italy can you enlighten us about your childhood growing up, things that you remember? I mean, going to uni, you spoke about going to uni and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, going to uni was fun. So I had obviously to commute a lot because I study in Milan. So I used to take the tube from Gorgonzola all the way to Milan where I was studying. So it was a lot of commuting. But the uni was amazing. Like I got to know amazing people. And I think also uni is a little bit like a bubble. So I finally found the place where people were like me. So I could get along with anybody super easily because we were all the same. So
I feel you. Like probably being in the countryside, wondering where you fit in and just being out there and everything being so far away and far between. It's like all you have is what's in front of you until you got there. So it must have been like just letting go and getting free and being really happy.
Yeah.
When did you start your fitness journey?
So I've been playing volleyball all my life. It was a quite funny story because I wanted to play basketball, but we went to sign. I went with my father to get signed in on a team, but there was no more space. And so next to it, there was the place where people used to play volleyball. So then we were just like, okay, maybe should we try with this? And then I started when I was like 5 years old, and I played until I was 18.
Wow, she should be really good at it.
I mean, it was very intense, so too much training, so then I couldn't do it anymore. So then I stopped, and then I started little by little the transition towards like more fitness stuff, like gym training, weight training. So I think I started properly going since I moved to London, so 5 years ago.
Okay. And because I know like in Italy, I think Italy's got they're big on basketball. I think they are really big on basketball. Sorry? Europe is, but I think Italy is. I don't know if they've got. Like, I just heard. I don't know, but like my nephews was going there. I think they've got leagues and stuff. They're quite big on it. So that's just interesting to know.
League.
Yeah.
So France, Turkey's got a team.
Yeah.
Even Iverson was playing for Turkey.
Who would you think's the best? Who do you think's the best? I don't even to ask you, do I? Really doesn't matter. Italy, right? Come on. Is there any other sports that you like that come out of Italy that are there?
I mean, football is a thing in Italy, right? So I realized that since I moved out from Italy, I don't talk about football anymore. But when I was back in Italy, all my friends used to talk about football. So I had to learn about football as well. But I think also volleyball is quite big in Italy, and beach volleyball too.
Beach volleyball, of course, it's hot.
I like beach volleyball, yeah.
Yeah, so look, studying. So you went to, you said university in Italy?
Yes, so I went to the university there, yes.
And when you was in the bubble, what did you study? What was you looking into there?
Yeah, so I studied biomedical engineer.
Biomedical engineering.
Yeah.
So you came from the countryside,
yes,
helping your grandmother helping your grandmother make tomatoes, learn the family trades and traits of, like, for want of a better term, like that's what, like inherently families, the females would learn. These things would be passed down from generation to generation to generation. But then obviously you're breaking the mold because you have learned that stuff, but now you're going into, please say it again.
Biomedical engineering.
Biomedical engineering. The two are just so far apart. Like, what
made you get interested?
What was that? What made you interested in it?
Yeah, so I was always like more inclined to do like scientific stuff. So math for me was always very easy, but then at the same time I always liked the contact with people, so the human side of it. So I thought, okay, engineering is something that I think is in my personality, but I don't want it to be far away from people. Like, I don't want to sit all day in front of a computer doing something that has no connection for people. Okay. And then I thought that biomedical engineering was a good compromise, because you get to see what you study and what you work for applied to people and hopefully to help them. So I thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, I think for me, what I'm getting for you, because I love the way you smile. She's like, that's a good idea. You've got a tenacity about you. Because you're saying that, and it's a good thing. You're saying, like, when your grandmother was doing this thing, you wanted to know, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And later on, you realise, but you wanted to know there and then. And you seem very driven. You know what you want when you want it. So,
what kind of areas do they use what you're learning?
So in industry, there are different sectors that biomedical engineer could work on. For example, prostheses. So for rehab of people that are missing a limb or something. There is the more chemical side, which is doing like more biocompatible materials or like cancer research, this kind of stuff. Then there is the more electronic side, so robotics and sensors, or like all the machine that can be applied to the human body. And then there is the mechanical side, which is connected to the previous.
Is this some of the reasons why they want people to take the vaccine for the electronic?
No, I don't think so.
I like the way you answered that. You're like, whoa. It's anything you don't want to answer, you don't have to answer, but we're going to ask you certain things still. Where am I going now? So, when you first started studying, because you've got, how old was you when you went to the university?
I was 21.
I want to ask another question behind my friend's question over here right now. So would you prefer not to talk about that stuff, or you don't mind talking about?
No, I'm good with
like nanobots and that kind of thing that they could be injecting into us?
I'm good with everything.
Cool. So anything you got in there, fire them away when you're ready. Yeah, please do.
Because you know, from when she said it, I was thinking, is it to do with some stuff that I've researched? But it is. I think it is.
We could get.
I've never heard it being said like that. You know,
broken down.
Yeah. That the way she explained her career. So now, but when she said it, I think, okay, it must have something to do with the new technology of how they're looking to use like robots.
Yes.
To help to deal with people's bodies and stuff like that. So I thought, maybe she can actually school us on what actually is done, because they give us information very lightly, to the point where people don't really know what's going on. As far as we're concerned, there's a chip being put in and the chip gets updated.
Yeah.
Just like
You don't know what it is. Yeah.
I mean, it is very hard, but then I also understand why it's hard to explain this to the public and make everybody understand what's happening. But yeah, so for example, in the field where I work, we work with robots. So there are some types of robots that are being thought to be miniaturized, to be inserted inside the human body, to make, for example, less invasive some of the surgical procedure that can be annoying. For example, colonoscopy. is a very
yes. I've had a colonoscopy.
Yes.
Is that when they put the camera to check what's going on? I'd rather a nanobot than a colonoscopy.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what that is, right?
Yeah. So
you know what that is, right? Sorry, Claudia. You know.
I'm gonna pretend I don't.
You're gonna pretend you don't.
What happened to you?
No, it's not what happened to me. It's a medical procedure that happens to anyone who needs to be investigated in that region.
You lot made
Nothing happened to me.
You lot made it sound so nice.
No, it's a lot. A colonoscopy, in my interpretation, is when a camera is inserted through the rectum to find out what's going on in the stomach.
Well, in the intestine.
In intestine. Yeah, in intestines. So therefore, you know your intestines like that. That camera's got to get in like that. Yeah. And it's not the nicest of procedures.
Why?
I know, because imagine you've got a camera that even if it's like a few millimeters long, it's still got to go around and around and around and around and around inside you. So to get to the place where it wants to see, it has to pass through places that have got nothing to do with what it's trying to get to. But you're still be in pain. Basically, and it's not a nice thing. No matter how much drugs they give you, and then stomach cancer is a big thing, colon cancer is a big thing. You can't identify it unless you have a colonoscopy.
Yes.
And some people don't have the colonoscopy because of the pain, and then end up suffering with medical things because they're scared of the colonoscopy. So therefore, if we now had a nanobot, then we could say, and it could just go up there like by itself, and maybe even be biodegradable. Did they do them things there?
Yes. Okay. It's very hard though.
Cool. Let me not jump too much. This is just what I'm understanding from the thing. Then it'll be. I would much rather they send the nanobot than the whole tube or the whole pipe.
You guys are like they're just sending it to you through email.
No, but no, it's not an email. But I comprehend some of it. But it's not. Colonoscopy is not a good thing.
Explain.
No, it was that not this.
Yeah, it's totally correct. So it's an exam that is used to detect if there are polyps in the colon, for example, which can lead to a cancer. Yeah. So what normally happens is that you insert this camera into the rectum, but it's very unpleasant for the people that undertake this exam. Cool. So the idea is to use some capsule that basically are just inserted and then are able to navigate and take the right picture, understand where, for example, the polyps is located.
Wow. So going back to when you went to uni first initially, right?
We diverged a little bit.
Yeah, it's fine. This is what we're going to do. This is why live talks, I'm so excited of the conversation we're having. And I know the voice behind the camera too is that I didn't know we was going to be going here. So we were going to digress, regress, digress. And then we're going to go everywhere. Like a colonoscophy.
I'm just interested in it.
Yeah, then we're going to go everywhere like the colonoscophy. You get it? Yeah. Woo, say that straight. So when you went to uni from the north, you got to the south, and you started studying within a bubble, and you decided to study, remind me please?
Biomedical engineering.
Biomedical engineering. Did you know how talented you was within that field because of the maths you had before, or did it become apparent to you when you was there? And how did you direct? How was your direction depicted after that? Although I heard you say you wanted to work with people, you wanted to combine the two. How was you directed into that? Was it someone who's your teachers? Was it some other students? Was it your own initiative?
Yeah, I just Google it.
You just Google
Yes. You will hear this a lot.
Yes. Just Google it.
Google is gonna save your life. No. I mean, I literally just went to the uni that was closer to my house and see which one were the options. And this one, out of all the degrees, was the one that had more human contact, and this is why I picked it. I didn't know at the beginning that I was that good, if I can say so.
Yeah, why not?
So for me, it was very hard. So I studied the first 2-3 years. I studied day and night because I was like, I don't know how hard this is gonna be. But then eventually, I managed.
Yeah, as you do. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. I'm proud of you.
I can say it now. So then I got my bachelor, and then I did my master that was more on electronic sensors. And then I ended up in London actually because I did my final master thesis abroad. So basically I joined a lab in London to do my final project.
Okay, nice. So how was that for you? Because remember, I've got you've moved, so you're in the country where you need to get a cart to go and buy milk.
Yes.
And you've moved now, I hardly see anyone, you're not seeing people that are the same as you as well, your energy-wise. Then you move to the south, and now you've got people around you to see your energy-wise, and then you're in this little bubble, so now you can, it's like you're at the dance, you're at the party. But then now it's almost like London's a festival. You get there and it's like, wait, what's up? It's like going, how was that?
I mean, actually, I wanted to go to the US in the first place, but my mom was like, no, I don't want any ocean dividing us.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so I couldn't go.
So mama made, okay, wow.
Yeah, she made it very clear.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, then London was another option. So I was like, okay, and then I'm going to go to London. I actually didn't like London because I came here during a school trip in 2009.
Okay.
And I thought it was okay, but it never conquer me because I was like, it's very in the north. I normally don't tend to like people from the north, so I wasn't sure. Yeah. But then since moment zero, then I moved here, it completely got me.
Okay, so you tipped on the head, your ideas like
and everything.
Cool.
And I spent my first year trying to explain people that in London doesn't rain that much, as everybody would think. Because in Italy, this is a thing, that the food is bad. And this is very important.
Yeah, stereotypes, isn't it? Stereotypes. Listen, my learned friend sitting right there, he knows about them. We try to play against them because they do that to us on everything. They'll say, don't go to Africa because don't go to Africa because you get kidnapped. Don't go here because of this. Don't go to London because it rains. And they try and brainwash us, like.
To make you think this is the best place in the world.
Yeah.
Wherever you're sitting, they try and make you think you're in the best place in the world. Just relax.
Yeah, don't move. Yeah, don't move. Because if you go there, you might it's raining. They might kidnap you. This. Wow. So how's your mum feel about it now?
She always asks me when I'm planning to go back home, but
cool.
I'm always like, let's have a think about it.
Yeah.
Did you decide to stay? When did you decide to stay?
So then what happened is basically I finished, it was only a period of time that I was meant to stay here. It was about 9 months. Then I went back straight to Italy, and for some reason I was very lucky. I found a job the day I graduate, so I didn't even have to look too much. It wasn't hard at all. I started working in this Japanese company in Milan. They do electronic sensor for industrial application, so it was a very techy job. I didn't like it at all.
Say it again. What is it again? The mechanical side. What you said.
They do electronic sensors for industrial applications.
Electronic sensors for industrial applications.
Mm-hmm. Which means, for example, having a sensor that is able to count how many elements are passing on a factory, for example, this kind of stuff, which has nothing to relate with people. Not at all. And I didn't really like the environment because it was at that point it was all people from the north, and it was exactly what I have been trying to avoid.
To get away from, of course.
Yeah, so I stayed in that company for 3 months. And then I was like, I'm so over this, especially after an amazing, almost a year that I have been living in London in an environment that I loved and that I thrive on.
Come on, London, come on.
And then they offered me a PhD, so I was like, fine. I quit my job one day, the day after, booked the ticket for London and just came back.
I do know what a PhD but what is a PhD?
So a PhD is like the higher degree.
Sorry, Claudia. When I don't know something, rather than say I don't know it, I have to look at my friend and go like that, and he helps me out. But can you just elaborate for me what PhD is?
Yes. Please? So I was saying it's the highest degree you can get. So after your bachelor, your master, then there is the PhD, which means Doctor of Philosophy. And you just get this degree in whichever fields you decide to study. You know you're amazing, right? Seriously, because like I said, for me, I met her in the gym, and I can't lie. Obviously, she's a beautiful woman, and with all the other connotations, she's working hard and everything. But I just see her as wow, you train so hard, and then you can see she smiles, she laughs, gorgeous dimples and all that. But you're 28. Yes. And you're doing your PhD now. Yes. How long have you got left? Less than 6 months. Less than 6 months for the highest accolade. Mm-hmm. You can call me doctor after that. I will call you doctor now. Give me free. It's free. 1, 2, 3. That's for you. Come on, you can call me. I love the confidence. I love that. We all do it just for the title. Yeah. And why not? You work hard. Like you said, the first
few months of the thing you wasn't sure, so you worked your ass off day and night. And if you work, you should be rewarded for your work. It's not easy to get that, the doctor, PH, next to your name, DR next to your name. A lot of people are at home doing this, that, the third, and not actually putting in the work. So, you know, proclaim it all the time.
Yes.
Dr. Claudia.
Yes, sounds good, right?
It sounds really good, really good, really good. Going into the whole robotics thing and talking about it more elaborate, I'm going to need your help with some questions as well, sir. But like, what do you think are the possibilities? What do you think are going to be the benefits in the coming time in the future? What do you think are going to be the pitfalls? And what do you think that maybe the general public or the average Joe should really understand about this stuff? Because we're only getting told certain things, or we only understand so much if you don't study things extensively like yourself. So we just know, okay, like they told you it always rains in London, but you had to come here to find out it don't rain in London. We believe a lot of what we're fed. So if we don't know, we don't know. Like, so I know I asked about 10 questions just now.
Yes, I was trying to keep all of them in my mind.
Yeah, any one of them.
I was going to say, in order for you to get the treatment, the biometric, am I saying the right way?
Yes.
Yeah, treatment. Do you have to have the vaccine, or can someone that hasn't got a vaccine still use those kind of procedures?
Yes, absolutely. So there are people that for some reason can't get the vaccine, but that doesn't imply that cannot use this kind of technology. So that's completely fine. So I work with medical robots that are basically, my specific robot is used for doing operation in the abdomen. Okay. So it's used, for example, to remove cancer from like prostate, kidney, stomach, and this kind of stuff. Wow. So yeah, and on your question, like where can I see that this can improve, is that the idea is using this kind of technology, you could bring this type of operation in places that, for example, don't have enough doctors. So the idea of the robot that I work with is that there is one part of the robot, that is placed over the patient, and then the doctor is sitting on a console and he moves his hands using some joysticks, and the motion is replicated inside the patient. So then the idea is that you can have this single doctor being anywhere in the world, and you can have the other part of the robot anywhere else. And so this would enable places that don't have enough people, enough clinician to still get to save.
Yeah, remote places. Like maybe not that the north is remote, but you know, the places where they have to go. But there are some really remote places in the world where they would benefit from this stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like you remind me like Tony Stark. You know, like Tony Stark with his robot. Is your lab anything like that? You know, like because they got all the robots.
Yeah, we do have.
How do you keep your feet on the ground?
I mean, it is hard, but then I go to the gym a lot.
Yeah.
So that helps me.
Yeah, you do. And you're now it makes sense of how focused you are in the gym, because that's your time to yourself.
Yes.
And to get in, because I do that as well, just get right into yourself.
I really need to decompress when I'm in the gym.
Yeah, I can imagine. Wow. So,
what do you do for fun?
I do handstand.
Oh yeah, I've seen it on your thing. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah,
I find it very fun. What else do I do? I cook a lot. Yeah. I travel. I love traveling. Yeah. Basically, I'm away every other weekend, so it's not that I have so much time left after that.
I see. If you see her Insta, it's always like, traveling or like when you said the fun thing. I saw you doing a handstand in like a cobbled street somewhere. Yeah. I don't know where it was. You know, like you see them little nice cobbled street. Where was that? Yeah,
now I'm like every place I'm gonna visit, I'm gonna take a picture of doing a handstand.
Yeah, it was just some like little narrow cobbled street. I saw. I'm just looking. I was like, wow. Like, but I just saw you in the gym 2 days ago, man. Yeah, some people are living the life of Riley. You know what I'm saying?
What's your creative side?
Say it again, sorry.
What's your creative side? As in, like, you know, like something that just totally about you. Do you like art?
I do like art.
Yeah.
I do like ideas, for example.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I like to think about stuff.
Something that's totally opposite to your studying and your working. That you enjoy. Yeah.
So, have you designed any of these things, robots and things you're actually yourself, or using other people's designs?
So I use a robot that is already designed, but basically I make it move by itself.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So it's the same principle behind self-driving cars.
Okay,
So
I don't know about self-driving cars, so please, you're going to tell me about self-driving cars.
I'm gonna tell you
you seen the film I, Robot? With Will Smith.
Yeah, probably.
That was it. That was that they had self-driving cars, and he said, no, I'm going to drive. He took over. But anything I've got around robotics or anything like that, it's come from a movie. I'll just tell you that right now.
Well, we are very far from the movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
So please enlighten me. You're gone.
Yes. So long story short, it's basically the same idea behind cars. So, cars can have cruise control, or they can help you staying in the line if you're trying to move left or right, or like if your driving is not stable, this kind of thing. So the idea with surgical robotics is to do the same. So normally a surgical operation can be very long and demanding for the surgeon. So the idea is trying to automatize small tasks that are repetitive out of all the operation. For example,
can you repeat that? Sorry, the ADI is trying to automatize small tasks. Okay, okay.
That are repetitive across different operations. So, for example, every time you need to remove a cancer that is either from the kidneys or from the prostate, whatever, you will always have to cut the cancer, suture the tissue back together. So all those little small tasks are the one that we try to automatize, in the sense that is the robot doing it by itself.
Okay.
So the surgeon can focus on the main bit of the surgical operation, and then the small little task can be executed by the robot itself.
Yeah. Do you that's so, like, it sounds so amazing, but it sounds scary as well. So, because if what happens if the robot makes a mistake?
Yeah. So there are a lot of like legal issue related to it. That's why it's not into the clinical practice yet. Yeah. Because you need to understand what's going to happen in that case, for example.
And then who would they blame? The manufacturer, the person who's programmed the robot, the person who signed off on having the operation. That's a lot.
They can just blame the robot.
Huh?
They can just blame the robot.
Yeah, but that's what
we're turning him off tonight.
Yeah, but then
no more power for the rest of the week.
That makes it simple, isn't it? That would be a good one. Wow. How much faith and trust do you have in the technology that you use?
Well, 100% of it, because it's everything I do on a daily basis. So I need to trust that it's gonna work. I need to trust that what I'm thinking is the right thing. Yeah. So myself, I do. Yeah. Then other people's depends.
Yeah. What's your views on the microchips?
What's my opinion, or if I use them?
Your views.
I like them.
Do you use it?
Well, in the computer, yes.
Do you have one in?
No, I don't.
Would you ever?
Yeah, I think I wouldn't mind. Yeah. I mean, research is burst when you actually have like a lot of people engaging with it. Yeah. So I would definitely. Yeah. Like for us, for example, if we want to do like user experience studies or studies that involve people, it's very hard sometimes finding these people that without having anything back just decide to spend some of the time for science, to invest in science. Yeah. So I would definitely.
Definitely. No, that's good. Because I think a lot of it's been sold to people as a bit of a fear tactic. So you don't know whether, like, even with this whole vaccine, non-vaccine thing, you realise they use the propaganda against you regardless, whether you're taking it or you're not taking it, you haven't taken it. So there's no right way to look at things anymore. That's why it's good to kind of get information from the people that actually know about it, rather than just anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, it's at the end of the day, what I think is that most of the time people don't know who are the actual scientists. Yeah. So I'm a scientist. So would you be worried if I tell you everything is going to be fine and this is just because of this specific studies that we are doing?
You just be able to tell me more
than
the conspiracy theories. You know?
Wow. Do you get like people looking at you and like, apart from people who see you do your work thinking, nah, you're not a scientist, you're not a doctor. what you mean, doctor? Like, you know, like when you first talk to people, like I've got an inherent respect for you, like I said, because of how we met, how we talk and how you train. But now that's grown after this interview, because I know like the brains. It's not like I just thought you were stupid, but I'm like, wow, maybe one day there might be something that could prevent me from having another colonoscopy. And it'll be down to Claudia. I'll be very happy about that.
Do you find it hard being intelligent in relationships?
Um.
And just the fact that you do something so big, is it intimidating?
I don't think it is, because then, like, I think I'm a pretty normal person. So what I think sometimes I find challenging for me as a woman working in STEM or in science is having credibility for people working in my field. So everybody outside will be like, okay, fine, maybe I understand 20% of what she's saying, so I trust whatever she's saying. But people in my field, sometimes I'm like, should we trust her? Should we not? So I really need to fight hard to be like, I can be as good as anyone else around me.
But does your intelligence intimidate some of your peers and maybe someone you're dating?
That was the case at uni, I think. So because at uni there is a lot more, it's way more competitive as an environment. Sometimes I had like people be like, I mean, like borderline cases, but like now doing a PhD, I don't think so. Like,
all your friends from uni? Or you have friends from different walks?
Yeah, I also have friends from outside, but I never think this is intimidating. I don't think, at least, I don't know.
Of course.
I hope I'm not.
No, of course, but
You're very intimidating. I'm a man, and I'm telling you, you're very intimidating. I'm not going to lie. Now, when I talk to you, I've told you, when I spoke to you, when I talk to you, I'm very careful. You notice how careful I am when I speak to you, and then now, like I said, I know more now, so I'm very careful not to say the wrong thing or do too much, because you'll be there's this Claudia in the gym. She'll have pigtails and hot pants and a belly top. She has numerous moles and she's a lovely woman. Like, I'm not trying to compare. It's just hard to focus, like I'm saying. And then now to hear you talking about how we can prevent having colonoscopies and how robotics can advance our future and so on and so forth. That when you're looking at you initially, you're like, okay. Now it's like
that's what I'm saying. That's where they
you're like, just as a man, it's just
what can a man offer you?
Loads.
No, I'm not saying that they can't.
Loads, but
I'm not saying that they could offer loads. But like, this is what I'm saying to you. Like initially, when the guys, if a woman's just pretty, you go up to them, you think it's easy to take them to dinner and they'll be happy. She cooks. She's a biometric scientist, bruv. That's not going to be an easy.
No, you have to be your A game. You have to have your A game, basically.
Maybe the A game's not enough for them.
Yeah. And you're so humble as well. Humility with it as well. It's a lot. You're it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm gonna tell you. I'm not gonna. And like everyone at home can see the beauty here. We've had so many beautiful women on this show, and I'll blow a kiss to all of you. I'm gonna leave it like that, so I don't put my foot in my mouth. How about that?
Where is he taking this?
So your relationship with your brother, you said it was a bit rocky when you was younger. How is it now?
Now it's fine.
Good. What does he do? If you don't mind me asking.
He's an engineer as well. He studied, I think it was something like new material and nanotechnologies.
Wow. So is the two connected? Wait a minute. Your parents, you're born in your parents. What's happening? Wait.
I'm telling you, when you are from Gorgonzola, there's nothing you can do besides studying.
Okay, so the fact that you was out there and they were so separate from the world.
Yeah.
Your ultimate goal was to get out. But one more time, what does your brother do? What is his engineer? What is he studying?
New material and nanotechnologies.
New material and nanotechnologies. Have you seen G.I. Joe?
No.
Have you not seen you seen G.I. Joe? No. Well, it's like literally the nanobots. Then they just send them to do stuff. They're about that big and they could just do anything. I'm just. So, do your two fields have any connection? Like, can they link up at any point? Because you're talking nanotechnology and other stuff.
It could be, yeah. But we used to have more connection when we are at high school because we were at the same school, even at uni a little bit. So I was always going to him and be like, oh, I can't solve this problem. Do you mind helping me? This kind of stuff. But then when I started my PhD, he instead started working for a company. So I think at that point we just...
Okay, so you went more in depth. So he can work, but he can't be called doctor at the moment.
No,
okay. Who's older?
He is older.
Who's older? Did you ever have any problem with like him and boyfriends or stuff like that as well? Like, is my little sister don't like, you know, like what you saying, like, or he's not good enough for you, he's not intelligent enough for you, he's not driven enough for you?
No, I think he is. Like, never had
been fine. Your parents, what did they do?
Well, they both went to uni, and they met at uni. My mum studied physics, my father studied something. I know. She's
just hiding all this stuff. No wonder. Mum studies physics. Go on. But the humility is just like, I study physics, biochemistry, this, that. None of us. We're building a robot to go to the moon. Don't worry. And everyone can get in, you know. We'll go miniaturize and get big. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That's the next one you're going to tell me. You're going to go, sorry. But go on.
Yeah, my father studied something that was close to computer science.
So physics and computer science. It makes sense then.
I know. Now you explain.
It makes sense. So you definitely inherited some brains from your family, but then also seeing the stuff around the house. So how did that go down, coming from such a traditional background in Italy then?
Yeah, I mean, I think my parents were the one that took the hard decision of leaving home, because back in the days it wasn't as easy as it was for us. So for example, me, I never had to leave home when I was at uni, because I was living close enough so that I didn't have to like move out. But for them, I think it was harder, because for example, it was in a time where there was no mobile phone. So they moved from the south towards the north, and they went to uni there, and so there were months that they couldn't talk to their parents because there was no phone, and obviously they had way less money. And so
It was hard to break that mold, like, because it's also talking about the institution of coming back and making a tomato sauce and stuff like this gets handed down. To break that tradition, it's not easy. You know, like where we come from, we talk about being, is it first generation? You talk about that first generation. So our children now have a lot easier to follow their dreams, as like, and I'm going to keep using you because that's what you said in the last interview, that it's easier for them to say, I can do it, I can do anything, where I would say I could do anything, but I still have to worry about how my mum would think about it, or my dad would think about it, and me not following the family, kind of like not doing so, like get married, have children and this. So it's power to them, man. Power to them.
It is easier, but though I think it's way more competitive. So, because this is what my parents have been telling me all the time, be like, well, we had to do a lot. We had to move out. We had to fight for our career. We had to invest a lot of time and energy and everything. And then everything seems easy for us, right? Be like, you grown up having everything. The only thing you have to do is studying. But I think now I can say it's way harder now to find what's your path. Because there's so much going on, so many people, so many opportunities, that to be different now out of everybody else, you really need to put more
effort into it. Yeah, I can understand that. I can definitely understand that. How do you feel about that, Voice?
Yeah and no, because I say it's the evolution that happens. It's the evolution that was supposed to happen. So
that's right. Yeah.
The evolution that we go through, we go through, and then
we need some nanobots to fix that.
Yeah.
Should I?
You know what I mean?
No, look at that. No, Claudia just went like that, and it was really like that.
It's perfect. You know, like our grandma, like she say, her grandma was doing the right thing for her generation.
Yeah.
Then her mum was doing the right thing for her generation. Then she's doing the right thing for her generation. And whoever's next is going to be doing the right thing for their generation. I think sometimes we try to compare generations on who was doing the right thing or who's doing something better, and I think it's like we're doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing at the time. You know what I'm saying?
I concur with that. Definitely concur with that.
Grandma being how she was and granddad, they wouldn't be able to be the parents. They wouldn't be able to be in that position to do what they wanted to do. And without the parents being in that position, she wouldn't be able to. Her and her brother wouldn't be able to be in
who the people are as well.
Yeah, so
it's
definitely just about spread, like the growth of, you know what I mean, your family. Because when you think about it, she's probably born in the 90s.
When are you born?
You know, like
93.
Well, it was a great year.
Great year.
Yeah, because you were born.
Yeah, because when I was thinking about the story when she was talking about when her parents was in you. So it wasn't as long ago as we might, you know, like usually when people are speaking and like, oh, when my parents was in the universe, you were thinking like the 60s, the 50s. When we're talking about her parents, we're talking about the 90s.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? 80s/90s. So it's like that was a big part of the transition. Like she said, mobile phones wasn't really there at that time, but
we still had house phones and stuff.
But it wasn't far away from the mobile phones coming. Do you get what I mean? So it wasn't like, you know, like hundreds of years ago or 30, 50 years ago. It was close to the evolution of everything. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm a strong believer in people. Everyone does what they're supposed to be doing
at the right time. Things happen. That reminds me of. Sorry to digress, but Lord of the Rings, and he goes, "Oh, you're late, Gandalf." He goes, "No, a wizard arrives exactly when he intends to arrive. I'm never late or early. I get here when I'm supposed to get here.
When you're supposed to.
Yeah, that's the thing." And sorry, I'm digressing again. Speaking of wizards, I want to ask if you got any questions for the lovely Claudia, because just pertaining to thing, and if you got one now, if not later, but anything around nanobots and technology and anything you'd like to know. I've got a few more, but yeah. Do you?
Do you agree with Elon Musk? Do you know about Elon Musk and his technology? Because he's into sort of microbiotics. I don't know what the word is, but what's your feelings on him as a...
I mean, he's a very peculiar person, I would say. Like, he has a lot going on. I don't feel like judging him, because scientists could be like, we are not all the same. So I understand part of the things he says. Maybe I don't agree with all of them. Some others, they are a bit outside my way of thinking. But either way, I think somehow he's trying to push the research. So this is the aspect I liked. Then there are other things that I don't agree with. But
such as?
I mean... I understand it, but I don't like, for example, his way of be like, it doesn't matter if you have a degree or not. If you're good, you can prove it, or that he has to judge whoever, or is so opinionated about things. I'm not that kind of person, and normally I'm like, why are you seeing things that are only black and white?
Definitely.
Those are the aspects I like a bit less, but
a bit less,
I like that. Your future.
My future.
You're gonna be a doctor in 6 months.
I know.
You'll have that by your side. You like traveling. I know you're gonna let your hair down. You let your hair all the way down for a bit. I already know. You already know. But the way you're laughing, I know you're gonna let your hair all the way down. But then after you've let your hair down and done everything you're doing, where would you like to see yourself, or what kind of impact would you like to have on the field you're in, on this world, and also in respects to passing down family traditions as well? I know I always ask a multitude of questions in one go. I apologise, but you've got this entity of the whole the family unit where you go home and the girls, the boys, the kids wash the things. Grandma's got the trolley that does this. The men do the squeezing, and then there's the cooking, and then also there's the bakery. That is a whole thing, an institution that, me personally, I think it'll be a travesty if it's ever lost. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're going back to enjoy it. So you will have a part to play with in keeping that alive, but also you've got a part to play with in opening people's eyes to understand that women like yourself can stand up against men in this field and achieve great things. Also, you've got to live for yourself, and then maybe put your own mark on the world. I asked too many questions in one go. I'm sorry, this is how my mind works as well. But anyone you can answer, I'll be happy with. And if you can help me elaborate on some of them after she's answered one or two of them, I'll let her answer one or two of them first, and then elaborate for me. Then cool. So let's start with the family institution.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be always there because it's part of myself and I like it. Sometimes it can get a little bit lost if I'm away from home from a long time. But as soon as I go back, I feel like I just re-embrace all my being so Italian, and that I think that will always be there. And I'm very happy to share all the tradition. I brought so many friends I met in London back to Italy, so they met my grandmas.
Please, I want to meet grandma, please. I don't know what you're going to say, but please, if I get a chance.
I will show her everything. So I think it's part of who I am, so I will always keep that with myself. And on the note on what I'm gonna do next, I don't know, but my dream, which I'm trying to work for, is to move to the US for a little bit. So I'm looking for jobs in New York.
Why?
Because I think so. I love New York. I think it has a lot of things in common with London for the way of being so active, so full of people from everywhere in the world. Yeah. So I wouldn't mind moving there for a little bit, but it's also quite hard. So
of course.
Let's see if I'm gonna find a job.
No, you definitely find a job. Do you know what I'm saying? And do you like the Italian culture in New York as well?
That a little bit less, because it was the Italian culture of like 3 generations ago. So now it kind of got mixed with all the Americans. So it's not really authentic anymore. But yeah.
So do you think the Italian life over here is a bit more authentic than in America?
100%.
Because we got the Italians, the actual Italians.
Yes.
Their ones are like generations deep.
So many of us.
So even when you do go there, are these places just want to work for like a matter of time, or do you want to actually live in America?
I mean, I don't understand people that can see so far ahead. So like, I don't see myself living forever anywhere yet. That's amazing. I just think
sorry, with the modern technology and the nanobots, we'll never actually know, you know. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, so I don't know. I can't plan this be like I'm gonna live there for the rest of my life, because I like to keep door open. So I want to see what happens, if I like it, if I don't like it.
What about kids? Do you plan on having kids?
Yes, but not now.
Yeah. What age do you plan on
I think being still at uni makes me feel like
younger.
I'm still young.
Still young. That's of course. What age ideally?
I would say after 33, 34.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I keep changing my mind on this.
So if you could hit that for me. If you want to ask a question, we always ask a question. So have you got any advice now for the young people out there, but also the Italians that may be in the north, the people that are listening to the propaganda, not coming to London to see what's going on, and anyone else who may want to get into your field or who wants to achieve stuff, to get that doctor by their name, and please just let them know out there what.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, I think my advice would be to all the girls or like young women then trying to work in STEM. I would say just believe you can do it. I had a lot of people, especially my mom. I had my mom telling me that coding is for men, and coding.
Like that's computer coding, right?
Yeah, computer coding. Yeah. So I was always like, okay, maybe that's not for me. But in the last 3 years, I've been coding every day, and I like it. So I would recommend to every girl that is approaching STEM to just keep working on it. And there's nothing that is just for men or for women.
And I like to add that no matter how beautiful you are, you'll still, and that's not just you. That's good. But no matter how beautiful you are as a female, there's always other parts to your personality. So don't just fall back on that. Not trying to be like all women do that, but I'm just saying try to use your other attributes, because the world pushes that narrative of women having to be sexualized and that kind of thing. When there's so much more to us. We're all humans, and like. You're a prime example, and I've sat across the table from other prime examples of women who are just innovative, inspirational, and fantastic. So I advise anybody out there, man, woman, or child, just to follow your heart and do what you know you can do, and don't adhere to anything anyone tells you. Listen to yourself. Claudia, is there anything else you want to say? Like, if we will wrap up soon, but nothing to get over to us. Anything.
I wanted to thank you for this opportunity. This was very nice. So.
Thank you. It's nice to talk to you as well. Is there any questions you may have for Claudia before we start wrapping up here? Because we've asked a lot.
I don't want to just extend it for the sake of extending it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It was my question was just more personal, and just more what she wants for herself and her future. Okay. And and that's it.
Okay. Have you got any questions in the back there?
Do you use graphene? Is that going to be a big impact in the work that you do, the material graphene?
Well, that's used for computers, so I guess yes. I mean, without computers, there's not much we can do.
But I'm talking about in terms of nanotechnology, so the actual nanobots going actually inside the human system, because the properties that graphene has.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. For all the things that they have to be compatible with human bodies, there is a lot of things to take into account. For example, how you can sterilize those objects, and how you can reuse them, and what is the protocols, and for how long you can guarantee that the state of your product will be the same. So how is that safe for humans, and so on and so forth. So it's hard to give a short answer to this one.
I don't know why you didn't answer that question before, sir. I'm curious. Do you have any other? Because that was a really good question, and that was a chair to the back. If anyone wants to know, you'll never know who that is. You'll never know. Only questions. But do you have another question, or are you good? That's you, yeah? Claudia, it's been amazing. I'm so happy you came for this interview.
Yes, me too.
I can't wait to see you in the gym working hard again. Thank you, Claudia.
Thank you very much.
Voice by the camera. The wizard. Live talk with Fawole. That was really good. Thank you.
Thank you.